You've already been introduced to the Makey Makey machine. This, what you're looking at here, is the Scratch programming language. Maybe some of you have seen this before. If you have and you already have an account, go ahead and sign in. If you don't have an account, let's go ahead and create one right now. So we'll pick a username. If yours is already taken, it won't let you choose it. Oh, let's do a different one. And then make a password. Put in your birth date. I'm going to try to guess at some of yours here. So let me put something in so you'll see on the screen exactly what you'll see here. Put in your parents' email address here because they will get a confirmation email. If you want to share your programs with other people in the community, your parents would just have to confirm that. To use Scratch, you'll still be able to use the entire thing. Just the sharing feature, you need parental permission to do that. Then we'll hit next, and then we'll hit OK, let's go. And right now we're logged in. Don't forget your username and password because you're going to need that to log in tomorrow or the next day to use the program that you're going to make. Once you're logged in, go ahead and hit create. And you'll get this little bar up here that will say to confirm your email to enable sharing. That means your parents need to click on that link that you put in for them, but we don't need that. We can just go ahead and hit the X and have it go away. This cat right here is called a sprite, and we're going to program this sprite to ask the questions for our interactive quiz. The first thing we want to do is let's make, instead of the white backdrop, let's do a different backdrop. So we have a bunch of choices here, and you can go back and choose some different ones later, but for right now, just follow along with what I'm doing. And I'm going to choose one from the library. You can also create your own or upload one, but I'm just going to choose one from the library. I'm going to do the blue sky one, so I'm going to click on it and hit OK. Okay, so now I'm got the sprite, and you'll see I'm clicked on the sprite here. I'm sorry, the backdrop. I want to make sure I'm programming the sprite. So I'm going to click on the sprite, and then I'm going to go up here and click on scripts. And you'll see I have all of these different blocks that pop up as I work my way through here. We're going to start with events. And with events, we want to grab the one that says when the green flag is clicked, and we want to drag that over here. This is our workspace. So to start our program, we're going to click this green flag. Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure when our program starts that we use this backdrop. So we're going to go to looks, and we're going to do the one that says switch backdrop to. We're going to drag that, bring it over here, and you see how it kind of clicks in place. Now there's other backdrops we could switch to, but we picked the blue sky one, so we're going to click right there and keep it like that. Now we want our sprite to say something, so we're just going to have it say hello for 2 seconds. All right, so right now this is our program. Let's go ahead and click the green flag, and you'll see it's got the backdrop, it said hello, and it's done. It doesn't do anything much right now. Once it says hello, I want it to ask a question from our quiz. So I'm going to go to Sensing. I'm going to grab the one that says Ask. Now, whatever it asks, whatever the people type in, their answer will go into this bubble called Answer. So I'm going to drag this and put it over here. And I'm going to drag that Answer one and put it off here to the side. And I'm going to use that a little bit later. Now, instead of saying, what's your name, I'm going to ask a question. So what is 12 plus 8? A really easy question. Okay. And then after it asks that, the computer will sit there and wait until a person types in an answer. Once they type in the answer, if it's correct, we want it to say one thing. If it's incorrect, we want it to say another. So we're going to go to Controls. And we're going to go down and we're going to grab one that says If, Else. If, then, else. So let's grab that and dump that in there. Okay, the way this works is it's going to check a condition, and if it's true, then it's going to say what's here. If it's not true, else, it's going to say what's here. I'll show you what that means. We'll go and grab one that's called operators. You want to grab one that says blank equals blank. And we're going to put that right in here. So if what they typed in, remember what they typed in went into answer. So if answer equals, well, what's the correct answer? 20. If it's 20, then we want it to say you're correct. So we'll go back up there to looks, and it will say you're correct for 2 seconds. Or just correct. You can make this nicer when you make your own. So if they answer it correct, it's going to say they're correct. Otherwise, they must have answered it wrong. So then we want it to say that they are wrong. Okay, let's see if this works so far. So we'll click the green flag. It's going to say hello. What is 12 plus 8? And see how it's waiting? Let's put in 20 once and hit enter. And we're correct. And then it's going to stop. Let's run it again. It says hello. What is 12 plus 8? Let's say 42. Hit enter. Wrong. Perfect. Okay, it's working really well so far. Well, it would be nice if it could keep track of how many we got right and how many we got wrong. So I'm going to add something here. I'm going to go to data, and I'm going to make a variable. And I'm going to name the variable correct. And we want to do it for this sprite only. And I'm going to hit OK. See up here, it says sprite 1 correct. So it's going to keep track of how many we get correct there. Well, how will it know to keep track? See here the one that says change correct by 1. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to drag it right above where we're going to say they're correct. So if the answer is 20, then it's going to jump into this little loop. It's going to change the correct by 1, and then it's going to say you're correct. Well, we need another variable also. We need the incorrect variable. So we're still here. We're going to make another variable for this sprite only, and let's call this one incorrect. When we do that, we'll hit OK. You see we have it up there now. And we're going to drag that change incorrect by 1. We're going to drag that right above where it says wrong. Okay, now let's go ahead and run this. Hello, asks us the question. Let's see if we get it correct. Hit enter. Says we're correct, and see how it changed it. And now we're going to run it again. 12 plus 8. Let's say 21. Incorrect, we're wrong, and it changed it. We're going to do one other thing here. If you notice, when I start the program, then it doesn't change these back to 0. And we're going to have more than one question in our quiz, and we always want it to start at 0 and 0. But we want to start by having them 0. So we're going to grab this one and say, at the very beginning when we start, let's set incorrect to 0. And then let's grab it again. Let's change it to correct, and let's also set correct to 0. So what our program will do, as soon as it starts, it will change correct and incorrect to 0. It'll change the backdrop to the correct thing, and then we'll be ready to go. So let's go ahead and run it. See how now there's 0. Let's say the answer is 36, and we're good. Okay, let's add another question here. So let's make another backdrop for our second question. I'm gonna make another backdrop. This one, I'll choose the brick wall one and hit OK. Okay, so I've added another background drop. I'm gonna go to my sprite, make sure that's clicked on. And now let's go ahead and ask another question. So let's start by switching the backdrop to a different backdrop. So let's go to looks, and let's go switch backdrop to. And now we'll have brick wall and blue sky. We want to go to brick wall. And then let's ask a question. So remember where that is in sensing. And let's ask another question. Remember, whatever we type in, the answer will go into answer, so we'll drag that and put that off to the side. Now, what's your name? Let's ask another question. What is 12 minus 7? And we'll wait. And again, we'll grab an if, then else. So we'll go back into controls, grab an if, then else. Remember, it was operators. We want the equal one. Put the answer. If what they type in is 5, then they must have been correct. I'm going to show you a little trick here so we don't have to do the change correct and everything. See, we're basically going to say the same thing as right here. I'm going to go up to the change. I'm going to hit right click and I'm going to do duplicate. And see what it did? It just made what was in that loop for me. So I can just go and drop that down right there in between so I don't have to type it all again. Do the same thing for the incorrect. I'm going to go up to change the incorrect, right click, go to duplicate, go down, and it's right there. Now to right click on a Chromebook, if you don't know how to, you tap it with 2 fingers, the mouse pad at once. Okay, so now it looks like this. Let's see what our whole program looks like then. I'm going to go ahead and hit the green flag. There's our first question. I'm going to say that one. 20. I'm correct. It says 1 and 0. Good. Goes to my second question. It changed my backdrop. Let me get that one wrong. It says I'm incorrect, and it kept track of that, and that's the end of my program. Okay, you are going to program your interactive quiz using this same procedure as I did here. Feel free to go ahead and look back at it as you're doing it. Of course, your questions will be a little bit more difficult than mine, and you'll have your interactive piece of paper also that they'll be touching for their answers there.